Hello and welcome to Royal Sports Club Ajman for day 2 of the Thampan Memorial Cup organized by World of Sports. The first game of the day is Arabian Stallions versus Markhor XI Win. We have the captains with us. Quickly going through the pitch report, it's a firm wicket as we can see. There's a lot of grass. So speaking to the curator a few minutes ago, he said the grass is being cut just to even out the bounce. It's a true bounce wicket. The batsman's going to get value for his shots. So will the bowlers who put in their efforts. Moving on, we have the umpires with us, Ghulam Mustafa and Altaf. All right, captain for Arabian Stallions, John, and Markhor XI Win is being captained by Sultan. We have the toss. Who's going to spin the coin? Sultan will spin the coin. John's call. Heads it is. John, what would you like to do?
We'll let ball first, yeah.
And any reasons for bowling on this wicket?
As you just said, pitch is fresh. So we have good quality bowlers aside and for swing and spin both. So we can restrict them to around 140. That would be our target, so which can be easily chaseable too.
Thank you. Thank you. And Sultan, happy with batting first or other ideas?
I think we wanted to ball first as well, but I think the wicket has a lot of grass, so I think it's an advantage to the other team. But effectively, we wanted to bowl first, but now I think we'll have to bat first and score 150, 160, and then try to contain them in the second innings.
All right, both the captains were wanting to score about 150 each. And that's the news from the center. Arabian Stallions won the toss, and they are going to bowl first. Welcome, and we are live here from Royal Sports Club in Ajman, where Arabian Stallions are playing Markhor XI Win. Arabian Stallions won the toss and elected to bowl first. Captain John is to start the proceedings for his side, bowling right arm over the wicket. Batsmen just made their way in and taking guard, speaking to the umpire. Field set, slip, gully, point, short cover, extra cover, long off, short mid-wicket. Our umpires for the day, Altaf and Ghulam Mustafa, both experienced umpires. As we have a panoramic view of the Royal Sports Club in Ajman. Beautiful lush outfield. The ball zips past through the field once it clears the infield. The fielders will have to be on their toes. First ball, right on the money. Mohammed Saad taking strike. Bilal Abbasi is his partner, while John bowls the wide. And this is the third game where the first run of the match is a wide. So the bowlers have to keep their line and lengths to perfection to restrict the score. John, fluent action, bowling it straight up. A Yorker, Saad just managing to keep it outside and hopping after he played that stroke. John using all his experience of bowling in such conditions. Remember, the dew might set in and that could be a factor that could decide a few games out here. So teams are watching out for such conditions. Again, shaping away, Saad playing across the line. The ball keeping a tad low. Making sure that he keeps it cleanly. John into Saad, moving across, playing it softly to a short mid-wicket. Wanted a single, partner refuses. Bilal Abbasi is partnering him, yet to face a delivery. We're in the power play. First 6 overs of the game are the power play overs. Batsman will try to maximize them. John in again bowling it down the leg side. Unlucky that he played the ball but straight to the man at short square leg. No runs. John extremely lucky that he got away with that. Could have resulted in a boundary because there is no man behind square outside the ring, so could have gone to the fence. But not to be. Score remains on 1 with the last ball of the first over coming up. John in again, bowling it up. Wild swing into the keeper's gloves. No runs. 1 run at the end of first over, courtesy of wide. And Bilal Abbasi to take strike for the first time in this game. Saad has connected a couple of them but hasn't yielded any run. So he would want to correct that soon enough. New bowler, John Flory. Stretching himself, just making sure he's in the right shape when he wants to bowl the first delivery. Sorry, it's Rayesh Chaudhary who's going to bowl the second over. John finished the first over. Right arm over the wicket. Bowls it right up to the batsman. Batsman playing it down to short mid-wicket. Pitching it up. And letting the ball do the talking. The ball tends to move around in the first few overs. Well, the ball's new and there's batsmen have to make sure they play straight, not across the line. Again, bowling, no ball being bowled. That's a free hit. So that's what Bilal would be looking for to capitalize on that one. Overstepping. And the second run on the board, courtesy another extra. Rayesh putting that extra effort in the delivery. Let's see what he comes up with. Again, another one. Free hit, taking full toll of it over the man at mid-on. 1 bounce into the fence. The first runs of the bat. Score moves on to 6. The slip still in place, slightly wide slip in position for a fine edge. Another one shot, this time over mid-on, one bounce into the fence, another boundary. So runs beginning to flow now for Markhor XI. Field change, mid-on goes back at the edge to long on. The man, a third man coming in. Stops in his run-up, wants to reload his run-up. Two men outside the circle, as a long on and covers. Extra cover. Scores 10. Bilal is 8 of 4. Saad yet to open his account. Plays it towards wideish mid-off. Batsmen take a single. Score moves on to 11. Good fielding by the fielder at mid-off. Had to cover a lot of ground. Rice now bowling to Saad for the first time in the game. Beautiful ball, squaring Saad up. He was eyeing the leg side, but with the ball pitching on off. As well.
मैं तुमको डायरेक्ट पावर दूं 1 फुट वहां जाओ अभी भी बॉलर आ रहा है व्यू अच्छा है लेकिन बॉलर फ्रेम में आ जा रहा है बॉल डालने के लिए
Saad into shot towards long on, a couple of bounces into the fence, so there's a third boundary of the over. Saad getting into the act. The moment the bowler pitches it a bit short, batsman ready to rock back and play those horizontal shots. Knowing very well that the field is inside, so they can, all they need to do is clear the infield. John into his second over. Both men outside the circle on long off and long on. Extra cover coming inside the circle. So the 5 men inside the ring. A short third man. And a man at square leg, short square leg. Swing and a wide being called. John trying to use the 4th or 5th off stump line, trying to induce an edge. Bowling it a bit too wide to the umpire's liking. This time he's done exactly that. All he was hoping is that the batsman nicks this one. He's not trying to bowl express, he's just trying to keep it up there and invite the batsman to make that mistake. Vinu keeping stumps for Arabian Stallions. Another one, just the variation on display out here. One was more outside the off stump. This one closer to the off stump, a little slower. Bilal had to check his stroke. This time up to the batsman, but single to long on. Flat throw onto the stumps. Middle stump uprooted right at the base. More of a sling throw. Score moves on to 17. Saad on strike. He's on 4 of 8 with 1 boundary. This one high. Man, both the men converging. Chance of a catch and taken. So Saad chancing his arm. John very well knew that he was going to try something like that. Bowls it a touch slower and away from his body. Hits the bottom half of the bat and balloons up to long off. Slower, slightly wide. A cross-batted shot high in the air. Long off comes in. Smoothly takes that one. Throws the ball down and says, thank you very much. First wicket down.
नहीं नहीं रुक जाओ फिर वो ऑन करके मैं फिर बात करता हूँ अपना वाला नहीं आ रहा ये वाला कैच नहीं हो रहा वहाँ पर देखो मेरा वाला मोबाइल ये कनेक्टेड तो है एक सिग्नल और है मैं चेक करता हूँ हाँ देख
Man out Mohammed Saad. Caught by Afaq Niazi. Balled John Flory for 4 of 9 balls. 1 boundary to his credit. John bowling outside the off stump. Batsman putting his foot forward and letting it go. Very well knows the bowler's just got a wicket. He must be having his tail up and bowling that channel ball. Doesn't want to mess around with such ones. Would want to wait for the loose ones to come his way. Wajahat Akbar facing John Flory. Last ball of the over. Another good one. Beaten outside the off stump. Successful one for John. His figures 2 overs, 3 runs and a wicket. Bilal Abbasi batting 10 of 8 balls with 2 boundaries. The man out Mohammed Saad 4 of 9 balls with 1 boundary. 3 extras in the innings so far, 2 wides and a no ball. Rais to continue proceedings. This is over number 4 of the power play. Rais was expensive in his first over, given away 14 runs. Would want to correct that this over. Just making sure that the man in the ring, the men in the ring are far more square than what they are. Gully and point quite close to each other, slip in place. Playing down the wrong line. Again, batsman trying to eye that mid-wicket region which is left vacant. Wanting to glide it, but not accounting for the line that has been bowled to them. They got to think of playing more towards the offside. There are 5 men in the ring, yes, but if you play it right, you might be able to squeeze one through the ring. Rais into bowl Again, a quick single taken down to short third man. Score moves on to 18 and under edge. Not a convincing stroke, but still gets a single for it.
अभी ये वैर से आप कितना जा सकते हो? ये वैर से कितना जा सकते हो?
Stallions trying to move the game along faster. They wouldn't want to waste time and have the umpire warn them for any delays.
रहेगा ना तो दोनों का गैप जो आता है ना 1 फुट का वो कवर हो जाएगा. हाँ ये ओवर के बाद
Plays it down to
डाल के बाहर जा रहा है ना
long off for a single. Wajahad. He opens his account with a single of the second ball that he's faced. Of the third ball that he's faced. Bilal on strike to raise. Good over so far, giving away 2 runs of the first 3 balls. He'd want to keep it that way. Played down to the man at point. A quick single taken again. Singles being taken right in front of the fielder. Stallions will have to keep an eye on that. The men have to be up to the task to save those singles from being taken. Score moves on to 20. We're in the 4th over of this power play of the first innings of this game. Swing on off, bowling it, moving it from leg stump towards the middle stump. Batsman managing to play it and play it towards square leg for a safety shot rather than a run. Last ball of the over coming up. 20 for 1. Again, down leg side. Batsman trickling it down to short square. Take a single. End of the over. Much better over this time. Just giving away those 4 singles. He finishes this over with 2 overs, 18 runs for no wicket.
आराम से हाँ वो बस टेम्पररी उन लोगों ने फिक्स वाला करेंगे.
Bilal on 12 of 11 balls. Wajahad is 2 of 5. A quick conversation between the men of Arabian Stallions as to whether John should continue his spell, and he does. While the ball is new, they know that John's getting a bit of a shape out here. John to Bilal. Again. Plays it softly down to short third man. A quick single being taken. Score moves on to 22.
Okay.
John bowling to Wajahad. Full length, outside the line, tram lines, another wide being called. Score moves on to 23. John using all his experience out here to outfox the batsman. He managed to get one of them so far. Most straightish run up and smoothly coming down. Plays it down to the man at square, short square, single being taken again. Good backup by the man at point. Keeper letting it through his legs. The man at point doing the covering, so just a single to add to the total. This goes was 24 for the loss of 1 wicket. Not a blistering start by any standards, but a steady one. Singles coming up apart from the 3 boundaries. Again, a slowish delivery. The moment you bowl the slow cutters, the ball just topping on and not taking off the surface. So the batsman has to crouch a bit to get those ones. These are not the ones that come up to the waist height, but just manage to keep low. Fourth ball of the over coming up, 24 for 1. Another one, playing it down to man it down. Chance of a catch and taken. Again, John reducing the pace of the ball. Running parallelly to it. A good running catch. That's the end of Ajad. Second wicket down. John keeping himself on just to get another wicket, and he manages to do. Let's have a look at that. Up, pitching it up. A half shot could have, another little bit of power could have got it over the fence, but lack of power just ensured that it nestled into the man at long on. Wajad caught by Hamid Nawaz at wideish long on. Newman in his fuzzle. He's on strike. Plays it down to covers. Chase for the fielder, but the ball moves over to the fence. So Fuzzle starts off with the boundary. It's pitched up to him. Was a boundary. So end of the over. Another successful one for Arabian Stallions. John Flory, his analysis: 3 overs, 14 runs, and 2 wickets. He's the one who's done the damage. 4 boundaries in the innings so far. Last ball of the over coming up. Playing it down to square leg. Single taken. A miscommunication could have resulted in a run or a run out, but safe enough for both the batsmen. So end of the over, end of 5 overs, score 29 for 2. Rama, Dubai. Speciality is that they have a couple of resident doctors, well experienced and having a good knowledge of what they are doing, being watched by a lot of their patients. So if you have any ailments and you feel, Corebiotics is the place to go. Now the sponsor, top brand, to sponsoring the man of the match for this tournament. They'll be giving away 30 man of the match in all for this tournament. 28 league games, sorry, 31 in all, 28 league games and 2 semi-finals and a final. We see the first bowling change. Rais Chaudhary is taken off the attack. Captain Josh comes into the attack. Right arm leg spinner, bowls just that fastish sort of leg breaks that he has. Batsman trying to, rocking onto the back foot, playing it to the to the shortest of covers and takes a single. Fazal is on 6 of 3 balls, strike rate of 200, making use of all the deliveries he has with the boundary and a couple of singles. Bilal on strike, plays it right over the man, over the bowler, and ball racing towards the boundary. The man at long off, not able to stop it. That's another boundary. Again, the ball is shot. It just sits up to be hit. And Bilal just doing that, rocking back and just playing it over the man at long off. Josh asking Afaq to remain a lot straighter this time rather than being wide at wideish long off. Mid on inside the circle. This time flighting it. The man is short square leg doing the fielding. A single being taken. Score moves on to 35. Bilal is on 18 of 14 balls with 3 hits to the fence. Fazal 6 of 3. Another short one. Chance of a catch. One bounce. Miscommunication and a run out. Fazal not interested in the run, but Bilal kept running without having a go with his partner. Josh ensuring that he breaks the stumps, and Bilal is run out for 18 of 14 balls. Strike rate of 128.57, 3 hits to the fall of wickets so far, 17, 24, 35. Mohammed Wasif is a new batsman in. Current run rate of 6.18. Projected score can get them to 124. Wasif will not be on strike. Fazal still on strike. Slaps it through covers. Short cover, not able to defend that one. Through his hands into the cover fence. 39. We're in the last over of power play. It was way too short for the bowlers, fielders liking. Fazal taking full toll of that. He moves on to 10 of 5 with a couple of boundaries. Last ball of the power play. Another one bouncing, and this time through point. The ball just sitting up to be hit, and Fazal's just taking full toll of that. Another bound. (43 for 3), an expensive over. A wicket taken, albeit a run out, but 14 runs being leaked out here with 3 boundaries and a couple of singles. So run rate jumping to 7.17 and a couple of deliveries. And the projected score moves on from 124 to 143. Fazal batting 14 of 6 deliveries, strike rate of 233. Mohammed Wasif to take strike for the first time in this game. Sham Mohan coming into bowl for the first time. Left armour. Left arm medium pace. Bowling to Wasif. Wasif plays it to covers. No run. In a decent bounce being extracted out here. Three men outside the ring so far, wanting to keep those on. Another single being taken from point. Fielders at the edge of the circle, so single is on. If both the batsmen are ready to risk that one, and they complemented each other by running straight away as soon as the stroke was taken and managing to safely reach home. Further edge towards point, this time went a bit quicker, so no run being taken there. Fazal losing his shape out there, trying to play that stroke. Hits the outer half of the bat and goes towards point. Four men outside the ring, long off, long on, mid wicket, and the man it covers. So nobody behind square. Sham bowling it into the pads. The batsman is happy enough to trickle it down to backward or square and take a single. Hurrying him a bit, but not enough to trouble him. A fine tickle down backward square gets him a single. Wasif on strike. Again, across the line, man at wideish long on, does the fielding, flat throw. Hamid having those slingy sort of throws which could take the batsman by surprise. Score moves on to 46. Fazal on strike. Plays it, reaches for the one, plays it over point and collects another boundary. That brings a 50 up of the innings. Fazal batting 19 of 9 with 4 hits to the fence. Mohammad Wasif batting 2 of 3. Sham Mohan concludes the over, giving away 3 of the first 5 balls where the boundary leaked, and the score, he gives away 7 runs off his 1 over. Current run rate of 7.14. New bowler Aldo Wilson. Well, we have some tips. Mansoor Alam is an attacking batsman with an average strike rate of 223. He should be coming in soon for his team. Eldo to Wasif. Right arm over the wicket. Another medium pacer. Plays it down to the man, it covers. bit of digging shot. Matt just manages to avoid the man at shot, third man, and runs away to the boundary. Man at third man being quite square, so couldn't cut off the boundary. Score moves on to 54. Moral victory for the bowler, but 4 runs added to the total, 4 runs to the batsman. Wasif moves on to 6 of 5. High full toss being called a no ball. Slap back, luckily the bowler moving his legs away, or could have been hit on the shin. So that's a free hit coming up. Score moves on to 56. Free hit coming up. Batsman trying to take full use of it, doesn't connect into the keeper's gloves. No damage done. Quick single taken at short square, at short extra cover. Markhor 11, in spite of losing 3 wickets, are maintaining a healthy run rate of 7.43. Just making sure that the runs keep coming. Have some power hitters at the end of the innings as well. So these two will try to consolidate this innings. Another edge, under edge that runs towards third man, and 1 run being added to the total. Score moves on to 58. In the last ball of the 8th over. Into the pitch. Ball moving towards point. No run taken. So the end of the over. 8 overs completed. 58 for 3. John, the only wicket taker so far. And a run out. So I can see on either end. मिल जाएगा ना मेरे को. Sham to continue from left arm over the wicket. Wasif taking strike. One run down to long on. Again, Sham taking the pace away from the ball. The batsman has to do the bulk of the hitting out here to get some momentum. Trying to ramp this one over fine leg. There's nobody behind square. Wide being called. So the extras move on to 6, 4 wides and 2 no balls. Now the slower one, deceiving the batsman. He wanted to go over cover, but the ball just dying down on him as it reaches him, unable to connect into the keeper's gloves. So Sham coming up with a couple of cutters out here, showing the variation that he has, keeps the batsman guessing. Batsman playing it down to cover, fielded by the man inside the ring, but doesn't manage to stop the single. So 61 for 3. Bowling it outside the tram line, wide being called. It's a 7th extra of the innings. Sham will have to reload. He's already bowled a couple of wides this over, so it is going to be an 8-ball over already. He's bowled 5 balls so far. He's got another 3 to go in this over, unless he doesn't bowl an extra ball. Again, another slow one right at the base. Wasif trying to take full toll of it. Doesn't manage to connect much. The ball just rolling back to the bowler. Another one. This time using his shoulder a bit and bowling it slightly outside the off stump. So the ball rearing off the wicket once it pitched. And a comfortable height into the keeper's gloves. So good comeback by Sham. A couple of balls have gone with no runs being scored. Want to complete it with another dot or a wicket. Not much damage. 62 for 3 with last ball of the 9th over. It's a no ball. Now this is criminal. This is criminal. You have bowled a couple of good balls. You got your rhythm in and you miss your footing. And you give the batsman a chance to redeem himself after a couple of misses. So 63. This is the 9th ball of the over coming up. Remember, you cannot change a field if the same batsman is off a no ball the previous one. Playing it straight back. Sham getting half a stop and the batsman crossover for a single. It's 64 for 3 at the end of 9. Partnership of 29 of 22 deliveries. Last 5 overs have got 43 runs and 2 wickets have been lost. 9. So steady pace to the innings at 7.11 run rate. Eldo to continue. Sham has finished his second over. He's given away 13 runs with 2 wickets. Eldo had given away 8 runs in his first over. Change in the field. Square. Short third man coming out towards gully. Third man coming a lot finer. A full toss into the waist of the batsman, just below the waist. Lucky the umpire didn't call it a no ball. 1 run being scored. Wasif is 11 of 13. Fazal is 21 of 14 at a strike rate of 150. He's got 4 hits to the fence. No 6s so far, so we got 9 boundaries in the inning so far. We're already into the 10th over. So that must be pleasing for Arabian Stallions. A wild swing. Fazal trying to make use of the height at which the ball was delivered. Lucky for him, didn't take an edge. Well, we can see it long off. Afaq just rolling his arm a couple of times. Maybe he must be under the impression that he's He's going to get called to bowl. 5 bowlers used so far. Another short one into the pitch, sitting up for the batsman to take a hit. Ball goes down to long on. Mohammed is very alert and just gets a single. Score moves on to 66. And again, dug into the pitch. Batsman not accounting for the length at which it has been bowled. Just going through with the shot. We're lucky enough that they have not induced an edge so far. Score remains at 66 for 3. We're in the 10th over, coming up to the halfway stage of the innings. Swing down to square leg, nobody there. Man at mid-wicket running across. Batsman managing to get just a single. Score moves on to 67. The final ball of the 10th over coming up. Good bouncer. Batsman jumping out of his crease. So the moment you jump out of the crease, you hardly get anything in your favor. It's an end of 10 overs. Score is 67. Eldo just giving away 3 runs in the last over. His spell is 2 overs, 11 runs and no wicket. Let's run a quick recap of the first 10 overs. Saad and Bilal opening the innings. Saad was the first one to go. He was caught by Afaq Niazi at long off for 4 runs. Wajad Akbar came in, didn't do much of damage. He scored 3 of 8. He was taken by Hamid Nawaz at long on. And then a decent partnership where Bilal scored 18 of 14 balls with 3 hits and unluckily got run out. Since then, Fazal and Wasif have tried to steady the ship. Their partnership is 32 of 28. Bowling figures so far. John Flory, the pick of the bowlers, 3 overs, 11 runs, 2 wickets. Raish Chaudhary, 2 overs, 18 runs. Josh, the skipper, going for 14, and then for his solitary over that he bowled, Sham Mohan, 2 overs, 13. Eldo Wilson, 2 overs, 11. So score is 67 for 3 at the end of 10 overs. While the player takes a drink. Sponsors for this event: Corebiotics, Ayurvedic Healing Center in Karama, Dubai. Top brand. Top brands sponsoring the man of the match of this tournament. The players coming back after having a breather. And ends being changed now. That's what has been told to the teams, that we're going 10 overs from one end and then we go to the next 10 from the other end. New bowler Winnie. Bowling for the first time in this game. Wasif on strike is on 12 or 15. being set. There's short third man, wide is third man. Point going towards gully. It's the men behind square on the offside being reinforced. And a short ball being bowled. Nobody behind square. It's all the batsman needed to do is just get a faint tickle. The ball trickling towards the boundary. And just asking the fielder if it touched the fence. The ball just stopping inches away from the boundary, so the batsman cross over for 3. Not the ideal start. You have 3 men behind square on the offside and you dig one shot with no protection. Even half a miss it is not going to land in anybody's hand. Now this time with the man behind square, he bowls the one outside off stump. Lucky enough that the ball didn't cross the tram lines, could have been called a wide. Again, a lack of planning out here. You got to understand your fielders. Full toss, slap back to the bowler when he fielding off his own bowling. So a couple of balls, no runs being scored. Another one into the pitch, straight down mid-wicket, and that's the first maximum. The man and mid-wicket coming in a couple of yards in. There you see, full-blooded hit and over the fence, clearing the boundary by quite a distance. The first maximum of the innings. Trying the ramp. A bowler smart enough to keep it outside the off stump. Not giving him much of a room to play that stroke. The batsman could have a sensible approach out here. He already has a maximum. All he needs to do is play some percentage cricket out here. Doesn't need to play such shots while he can play in front of square. Another one, chance of a catch and draw and taken. Looked like half a drop, but it's been taken out there at short cover. So Winnie coming back after being hit for a 6, a dot ball, and then gets another one. There you see, bowls it, digs it, and just staying up for the batsman. He plays it a bit too early. The man at extra cover coming forward and taking a catch and tumbling along, ensuring that it is in his palm and doesn't pop out. Catch taken by Eldo Wilson at extra cover. So end of a beautiful innings from Fazal. He scored 28 of 22 balls, 4 boundaries and a 6 just before he lost his wicket. So 76 for 4s, current run rate of 6.91, projected score 138. As John had said, he would be happy to be chasing something around the 140 mark. Altaf, the new batsman, 134 matches, 2,789 runs scored so far. Statistics show Rais Chaudhary and Josh are very good when the new man is at the crease. Altaf taking strike. Last ball of the over coming up. He's given away 9 runs in this over so far. Sham continuing his third over, bowling to Wasif. Coming round the wicket this time, plays it down to short third man, collects a single, he moves on to 16 of 18. Wasif's played a steady role in this inning so far, managing to keep the scoreboard ticking. He's got a strike rate of 88.89. You will want to get that to 100 and above, 120 if possible. That's going to propel the score up. Altaf plays it down to extra cover, single being taken misfield, but no risk being taken out here. Score moves on to 78 for 4. We are in the 12th over of this innings. Sham moving across the stumps and then checking a stroke at the moment. No run scored. Sham into bolt. Plays it down towards long on. 1 run. Hamid, a safe pair of hands. Collects the ball and throws it back to the bowler quite close to the stump. So batsmen got to be wary that they got to complete their run as soon as possible. Last ball of the over coming up. Sham's third over. Plays it down. Another catch. Just managing to evade Eldo Wilson. Chance of another run, but not taken. The misfield's not proving costly so far for Arabian Stallions. Score is 80 for the loss of no wicket at the end of 12 overs. For this Thampan Memorial Cup organized by World of Sports. The winning prize, champions getting 3,000 dirhams, runners up 2,000 dirhams, third place getting 1,000 and fourth place of 500 dirhams. Sponsors, top brands sponsoring the man of the match for this tournament. Winnie into bowl his second over. Another shot towards long on. Hamid running forward, missing the catch, and ball bursting through his hands through to the boundary line for a bound. In the slot, played high in the air. Hamid covering a lot of ground, managing to do everything correct except that it greased through his palm and trickled through to the boundary for 4 runs. Altaf now getting into the act. He'll want to get a few blows. He can hit lusty blows. Another one. This time a thickish outside edge over short third man. Another boundary. Giving him just enough room to free his arms. And he's more than happy to get an edge and run it over third man. He races to 10 of 4 deliveries with 2 boundaries. Winnie under some pressure right now. He's given away 2 boundaries. A wild swing. No damage done. The ball nestling into the keeper's gloves. Winnie into Altaf. Plays it down to long on. Taking a single. Hamid with his throw. Slinging it back. Right on top of the stumps. Altaf should be aware that he is quick across the turf and has a clean pick up and throw. This time Wasif into the act, gets a thickish outside edge, ball runs away over gully for a boundary, score moves on to 93. So Winnie's figures taking a bit of a damage out here. He had 9 runs off his first over. Now he's given away 13 of the 5 balls that he's bowled in this over so far, 3 boundaries. Another shot towards mid-wicket. 1 run being taken. Taking another one. Chance of a run out. A wild throw. 2 runs being taken. So 95 for 4 at the end of 13 overs. The partnership 17 runs of 11 balls. Beg your pardon, the partnership is 19 of the last 2 overs that they have come together. Altaf taking strike. Sham continuing his spell. This is his last over. Plays this down towards backward point. Another boundary. So the point and point region being peppered out here for the last few deliveries. 3 boundaries coming in that area. Altaf is 15 of 7 with 3 hits to the fence. Strike rate of 214.29. A current run rate jumping over 7.5. A projected score 150. Sham to Altaf. Plays it to a cover. Chance of a catch. Dropped. So after one good catch taken by Aldo, a couple of them being dropped. And a wild throw which was not collected by the bowler resulted in another boundary. The score's 101 for 4. This time again slicing it down. A fielder being stationed then for such strokes gives away a single. John doing the fielding out there at the fence behind square on the offside. Altaf 18 of 9 with 3 hits to the fence. Wasif batting 23 of 22 of 2 hits. requesting for an LBW. Batsman indicating that it has hit the top of his thigh. Now the wild swing. Stepping out of his crease and trying to play towards mid-wicket. More or less a half sweep, but no run. Score remains on 102 for 4. Last ball of the 14th over coming up. Plays it down to cover, short cover, takes a single. Scores 103 for 4 at the end of 14 overs. Sham completing a spell of 4 overs for 25 runs. Giving away 8 runs of his last over. Unlucky that he couldn't get a wicket. Eldo couldn't hold on to the chance at extra cover. Eldo to continue. He's given away 12 runs of his 2.1 overs. Score moves on to 104. Wasif playing it down to point and hurrying in through for a single. Altaf on strike. Straight playing it down to long on for another single. Tucks the batsman up, but there's no protection on the leg side. Wrong line being bowled out here. He's got a 6-3 field, or rather 7-2 field, but still bowling down to the pads of the batsman is inviting trouble. Score moves on to 109. Full toss played straight to the man at cover. Still a single being taken right through the hands. Score moves on to 110. There's a stroke towards long off. Single being taken. 111 with the last ball of the 15th over coming up. Current run rate of 7.48. Current partnership 35 of 23. Some quick runs being collected in the last few overs by these batsmen. Again, plays it down to the man at point. A single being taken. Partnership of 36 of the last 4 overs that these two have played together. Altaf scoring 20 of those runs. He's 20 of 11 balls with 3 hits. Mohammed Wasif 31 of 29 with 3 hits to the fence. 112 for 4 at the end of 15 overs. Edo Wilson 3 overs, 20 runs, no wicket. Sham Mohan, the only bowler to have completed his spell. John Flory has bowled 3, Rais Chaudhary 2, Josh 1. Josh has to think of the rest 5 overs, that whom is he going to give to complete his innings. Well, we see the night sky, a moon in full glory up there, and the beautiful sky here in Ajman. The Royal Sports Club is where these games are being played. The Thampan Memorial Club, sponsored by World of Sports. A T20 league out here in the lush green of Ajman, the Royal Ascot grounds. Back live after the prayer call. Josh to start proceedings. We're in the last 5 of this innings. Another shortest delivery. Punch towards extra cover. Batsman taking 1, coming back for the second. Score moves on to 114. Another beautiful shot, this time towards square leg, gets a boundary. So the run. Josh spraying it down towards the pads of the batsman. And a boundary being scored. Score moves on to 118. Run rate now crossing up to 7.7. The shot is early, played it down to covers. Batsman taking another couple of them. So 8 runs coming out of the first 3 balls. Another one just sitting to be hit up, another boundary. So 12 runs coming out of the first 4 balls. This one short. And Wasif playing towards mid-wicket for a boundary. He moves on to 43. Again, another one trying to spin the ball by bowling it over. And there you see comes more, not a very orthodox sort of action that he has. Again, another one going towards mid, coming thick and fast. Most expensive of the over so far. Five deliveries bowled so far. Another one this time again towards mid wicket. Another boundary. No effort by the fielders down at the mid wicket. 23 runs coming off the over. Score 133 for 4. And Wasif races to 51 of 35 with 7 hits to the fence. He's collected 4 boundaries of this innings, of this over. And Josh has sorry figures of 2 overs 35 for no wicket in his 2 overs.
जो T10 चल रहा है अबू धाबी में वो सेट चल रहा है. हाँ OTT पे देखो OTT पे बड़े चैनल को नहीं भी लेंगे ये उल्लू पुल्लू को अभी जैसे कलर्स वाला T10 कलर्स वाले ने ले लिया पूरा. तो कलर्स वाला तो अपना पास है.
23 runs coming off the last over. Pretty expensive. Giving the much needed momentum that Markhor XI were looking for. We're into the last 4 overs of this innings. As we look, the shot that got him to his 50, again sitting up to the be hit. The 2 men on the leg side, bisecting them to perfection. John coming in to bowl his 4th over. He's bowled 3 overs. For 11 runs and 2 wickets, he would want to come and break this partnership, which is raced to 57 of 5 overs. Overshot third man, half an effort. Result still the same, another boundary. The run rate galloping along to 8.31 at the start of the over. .47 after that boundary. It's a partnership of 61 of 31. Another wild swing towards mid-wicket. Fielder doing the clean-up. 1 run being scored. Score moves on to 138. John to Wasif down the leg side, a quiet sort of appeal. 1 run added to the total. Score moves on to 139. First leg bye of the innings. Swing of the bat over mid-wicket, another 6. Each stroke of Wasif. He moves to 31. Of the 14 deliveries he's faced, he scored 4 boundaries and a 6. 19 boundaries and 1-6 is over. Another ramp shot being taken. 1 run being scored. Score more. पूरा कर दे. Gonna swing towards widest long on, sorry. 1 run. $147 at the end of 17 overs. John finishing his quota of 4 overs for 24 runs and 2 wickets. 13 runs coming off this over. This partnership now 71 of 36 balls. The last 5 overs have been 67 runs without a wicket being lost. Mohammed Wasif batting 52 of 37 with 7 hits to the fence. Altaf, aka Commando, has 32 of 15 with 4 hits to the fence and 1 over that. Eldo Wilson to continue. This is his last over. Wasif plays it down to long on for a single. Altaf on strike. Must be eyeing that mid-wicket region. Pulling it fuller, making sure that the batsman doesn't get any kind of a width to play it over mid-wicket or covers, keeping it down to a single. 149 on the board. As Sultan had said that he would ideally want 150 or 60, he probably can get a bit more than this with this pair. Wild swing by Wasif. Again trying to play the shot a bit too early, not in the zone that he would want to. Drop catches here could prove costly for Arabian Stallions. Remember, they dropped Altaf on a couple of occasions, and he's made them pay heavily for that so far. Probably more. Another wild shot over long on, handsome. Another 6, 150 coming up of the innings. 155 for right in the slot. Death overs, you got to vary your lengths. Make sure that the batsman doesn't get any kind of a width to play such strokes. Scored 155 for 4. Wasif racing to 59 or 40 balls. His first maximum. Plays it down to wideish long on again. A single to the 5th ball of the over. This is the 18th over. Trying to ramp this one, and the ball cannoning from his pads onto the stump. So Altaf is gone. He's gone for 33 of 17. A well-made 33. Ensuring that this innings, Markhor innings, has got the required momentum that they were looking for from the start of the play. So partnership of 80 in 7 overs has been broken finally by Edo Wilson. He's completed his quota of 4 overs for 29 runs and taken the wicket of Altaf. Last 2 overs coming up. Josh as to decide who is going to be bowling. He has gone for 35 of his 2. So very unlikely that he will be bowling that overs. Rais has got 2 overs and so has Vinny. They bowled 4 overs amongst themselves. New man in. Khush Ahmeddin. Man on strike. Wasif 60 of 41. Rais to bowl is the penultimate over of the innings. He's bowling his 3rd over. Will not be completing his quota of 4 overs. Pitching right up to the batsman. Wasif thought that this could be a wide, wanted to leave it, but just within the tram lines. So dot ball. Arabian Stallions will want to string in a lot of dot balls that they have so far, the 11 remaining deliveries. And just to ensure they want to chase a target below 170. Wasif the man on strike. Khush is the man who just joined him who's not yet faced. Another one, wild swing. Some excellent bowling variation here. Just kept the batsman guessing. Wasif's on a single mode idea out here to try and swing at everything. It's not accounting for the length and the line that the bowler is bowling out here. Third ball of the over coming up. No run so far of the over. Another one. This time he connects and connects it well. Was trying to do that from the first ball of the over. This time connects it. Gets another maximum. Score moves on to 162. There you see the bowler bowling it just in the slot that he was wanting it. And he plays it high over the man at mid-wicket for the second maximum of his innings. 162 for 5. Current run rate 8.76. Projected score will be 175. Let's see what does Rice do this time. Another full toss. Batsman playing a bit too early to that, managing to give it to wide long on for a single. Score moves on to 163. Khush Ahmed taking strike for the first time in this game. He too will want to do the maximum damage he can in the last 9 legal deliveries of this innings. Being played at the Royal Ascot Club in Ajman. This tournament being played under the lights. Lights being used for the first time at these grounds. Stepping out and trying to swing. No connection into the keeper's gloves. So last ball of the over coming up. Rice has gone for 7 in this over. A 6 and a single. Short third man being brought quite finer for the fine edge. Again stepping out and trying to miss stumping as well. So end of the over, a good one in the end. 7 runs at the death is not something which a bowler will be too fussed about. Would have been ideal had he not been hit for that 6. But that's the way it is. 163 is what they've scored so far in 19. Rice completes his quota of 3 overs for 25. Aldo Wilson has completed his innings, so it should be Vinny who should be coming on to bowl the last over. Afaq Niazi has been given the ball. He hasn't bowled an inning so far, so he's going to bowl the 20th over. man patrolling the wideish gully at the boundary line. John. Short third man, gully, point, covers. Wasif losing his shape every time he tries to play across the line. He's just managed to score 1 run in the last 4 balls that he's faced. He can connect well. He just has to make sure he plays the right shot. Again, another one. This time over mid-wicket. Another 6. He's been doing that and chancing his arm at those type of shots. He misses a few but connects a few as well. Score moves on to 169 for 5. Wasif on 73 of 47, 7 boundaries and 3 sixes. The bowler was having a mixed bag sort of deliveries. Another one, hitting it straight down towards long on, wanting the second. 2 runs being taken, bowling, throwing it at the wrong end. Khush Ahmed had taken off the blocks the moment the ball was hit. Fielder should have been smart enough. Wasif was quite slow, could have got him, resulting in a couple of runs. Another short one going down towards square leg. Batsman wanting a second, chance of a run out. Missed again, another couple of runs. Wild throw, slingy one. Pressure doesn't help your cause. Ahmed had been throwing the ball well right up to the stumps until now, and on this occasion when it mattered the most, he threw it away from the stumps. 2 runs being taken. 169. Another slow delivery, wild swing, 1 bounce towards the keeper. 169 for 5. Bigger pardon, it's 173 for 5. The last ball of the innings coming up. Can he finish it off with the maximum? Ramping it. Chance of a run out here. A needless run out. The ball right into the keeper's gloves. So a good bouncer resulting in a wicket. So score remains at 173 for the loss of 6 wickets at the end of 20 overs. A well-made 77 of 50 balls by Wasif, propelling the score to 173 for 5. Remember, they were hovering around the 6.5 run mark at the halfway stage. Let's have a run through the scorecard at the end of the first innings. Mohammad Saad, caught of Agneazi, bowled John Flory. We'll show you the bowling card first. John Flory, 4 overs, 24 runs, 2 wickets. Rais Chaudhary, 3 overs, 25 runs, no wicket. Josh, expensive, 2 overs, 35 for no wicket. Sham Mohan, 4 overs, 25 runs, no wicket. Eldo Wilson, 4 overs, 29, 1 wicket. Winnie, 2 overs, 24 runs, 1 wicket, and Afaq Niazi bowling the last over, giving away 10 runs and effecting a run out. So 173 for 6 is what they've scored. Batting card, Mohammad Saad scoring 4 of 9 balls with 1 hit to the fence. Bilal Abbasi run out for 18 of 14 with 3 hits to the fence. Wajat Akbar 3 of 8 with no hits to the fence. Fazal 28 of 22, 4 hits to the fence and 1 maximum. Mohammad Wasif the star, 77 of 51, 7 boundaries, 3 sixes with a strike rate of 150.9. Altaf playing a cameo of an innings, 33 of 17, 4 boundaries and 1 sixes, a strike rate of 194.1, and Khush Ahmed, the last man out for no score with 2 balls faced. 10 extras in innings, 6 wides, 3 no balls, 1 leg by. On the chase will be back. Arabian Stallions will want to chase down 174 runs in the 20 overs. The Thampan Memorial Cup organized by the World of Sports. The prize money, 3,000 dirhams to the winners, 2,000 dirhams to the first runner-up, 1,000 dirhams to the second runner-up, and 500 dirhams to the fourth position. A healing center in Karama, Dubai.
ये मत दबाया करो, इसको मूव करो।
Welcome back with the chase. Arabian Stallions needing 174 in their allotted 20 overs. The Thampan Memorial Club Cup being played at the Royal Ascot grounds here in Ajman. Markhor XI scoring 173 in their allotted 20 overs. Useful contributions from Wasif, Altaf, setting up a competitive total out here. The dew has started setting in, so the bowlers will have to be wary of that. Appeal for an LBW and been given. Ball nipping back, hitting him flush or right in front of the stumps. We note the batsman being out for the first delivery of the innings. LBW, the bowler Khush Ahmed, pitching it up. Pitching it up. Out. Not a good start for Arabian Stallions. Losing their first wicket of the first delivery of the innings. Afaq, the new man in, Afaq Niazi, a youngster quite agile in the field. Shaping the ball outside. Afaq playing a stroke towards a short extra cover, no run. The fielders closer to the bowler, having towels around their waist, drying the ball up. The ball is still new, it's going to zip around a bit. Again, forward defensive stroke to short cover. Right on the money. First three balls, he's been on the money, getting the wicket of Vinod of the first delivery and a couple of deliveries. Afaq playing them through the middle of the bat.
ओहो मैच में ध्यान दो जरा वो बंद करो
Another full-blooded drive towards mid-off, no run. Short ball, plays it over square leg. A few bounces and over the rope. It's the first runs of the innings, a boundary. Kushema trying something different. He had been bowling it up to the batsman. This time decided to bowl a shorter one. The bounce is quite true out here. And just sits up to be hit. A lot of time for the batsman to move around and play it over square leg. We're in the power play. 7 fielders inside the circle. Not much protection outside the inner circle. The 2 men outside are the man at third man. Again, another one in the air, over point, another boundary. So eventful over coming to an end. A wicket and 2 boundaries, 8 runs on board for the loss of Vinod. Vinod's wicket was out LBW of the first ball of the innings. Sultan marshalling his troops. Last minute of advice to the bowler. Mohammed Wasif, the bowler. Handing over the cap to the umpire before he starts his bowling. Wasif had made an eventful 77 or 51 in his while he was batting. He'll want to continue with the bowling. Sort of slingy action, the ball shaping from outside leg stump towards the stump, but too good enough for the keeper as well. So 5 wides coming to the total. So last 3 balls have resulted in 13 runs. Can swing the ball a long way off, but he'll have to control it. Not going to help your cause if you start bowling it down the leg side. We're in the power play. Again, another one, leg side. This time keeper a bit alert. Moving his position from slightly outside the off stump towards the stump, so he's able to cover that angle at which Wasif is bowling. Wasif has given away 6 runs without bowling a legal delivery. Again, another shout, bat and pad. A quick throw from point, a single being taken. Score moves on to 15. Wasif's got this knack of swinging the ball in air. It's curving a bit at quite a bit of degree. The batsman will have to account for the swing that is being presented to them. Again, Afaq well up to the task. The ball's pitching it on middle and off, trying to shape it away from the batsman. Afaq ready to show the full face of the bat and respect the good ball. He's quite confident of what he is doing so far. Again, another shot. One, plays it over mid-wicket, ball going towards the mid-wicket boundary. A couple of runs being taken. Easy tour for the batsman. Just ambled across the wickets, collecting a couple of runs. Not a full-blooded shot, slightly on the higher side of the bat, so didn't go the distance. Score moves on to 17. We're in the second over of this power play, chasing 173 on some good batting conditions. Again, another single being taken to short cover, throw towards the bowler, unnecessary throw, resulting another extra run. There was no backup, so the risk of giving away extra run was always going to be there if you don't hit the stump. And that's what resulted in an extra run. Remember, Arabian Stallions too gave away a lot of runs through extras and drop catches, so Markhor XI should avoid such instances. Quite close to the stump this time, playing within the line, making sure that his bat is not moving towards the ball, but pulls it back just at the last second to ensure that there is no edge out there. Wasif extracting some good swing out here with the conditions that are helping him, the wicket, and not much crosswinds, but still using his wrist to the best he can. Again, into the pads of the batsman, single being taken, wanting the second. Afaq saying no, a risky one. End of the over, score is 20 for the loss of 1 wicket. Hamid is 1 of 1 run. And Afaq is 13 of 10 with 2 boundaries and 6 extras to the total. A couple of times already. On the last over, full-blooded drive towards extra cover. Good enough batsmanship on show here by Afaq. Playing on the merit of the ball, playing behind, coming behind the line of the ball, not playing those cross-batted shots. He knows he's got time on hand and he can get this. Another one, slightly higher in the air. Chance of a run out and another miss. Miscommunication. The golden rule, never run on a misfield. It was not far away from the fielder at extra cover. A slightly better throw could have had Afaq in trouble. Not the way that he would want to lose his wicket out here. These are good batting conditions you'd want to make use of. Score remains on 20. Now an over, mid-off, a beautiful shot in the slot. He just needed to middle it and he middled it high off, gets another boundary. Score moves on to 24. Remember, the ball's zipping onto the bat. You just need to play through the line. Ahmed bowling the fourth ball of the over. Field change, long off, drops back. Too close to the body to cut that one. Manages to get it down to short. Third man gets a single for that. Score moves on to 25. Eyeing that vacant third man area, with short third man being brought inside the circle and long off being dropped back. The men outside the circle, long on, long off. We're in the power play, so only 2 fielders allowed outside the circle. Hamid. High in the air, chance of a catch, dropping in front of the fielder at long off. Single being taken, score moves on to 26. Hamid has got not much of the strike, so he's trying to make every use of the opportunity that on hand. He doesn't need to be too over enthusiastic here. He just needs to keep playing percentage cricket. His partner at the other end is playing some good cricket and some good cricketing shots. He just needs to follow that. Again, another straight back drive to the bowler. End of the over, score 26 for the loss of 1 wicket. Current run rate of 8.67. Stallions need another 148 of the remaining 17 overs. Wasif continuing. Afaq on strike. He's on 18 of 15 deliveries. Ahmed. ठीक है अच्छा अच्छा chance of catch. Is that an edge? Yes, it is. Squaring the batsman up, inducing the edge. And Hamid's short and jittery stay comes to an end here. He's out for 2 of 5 balls. Your views on this, my friend?
Yes, that was caught behind. Clearly, edge was that. What an excellent catch behind the stumps. The man with gloves, he doesn't make any kind of mistake and took the catch very safely. He kept his eyes on the ball until the ball came into his gloves and took the catch very safely. So this is another upset for the team Arabian Stallions. Another wicket gone. New man comes up. Who is the man? I have to look at his jersey. It's only 26 runs on the board and they lost their 2 wickets so early. Only 3.3 overs happen and they need 1 48 more runs from 99 deliveries. No doubt about that. They are very close with their required run rate, but they still have a big partnership here. New man at the crease. Abhishek is the new man. Afaq Niazi, who is already standing in the crease with 18 from 15 balls with the help of 3 good boundaries actually. And once again, the man with the ball, Mohammed Wasif, running right arm over the wicket. Good drive, excellent driven to the extra cover. Fielder is racing away. Ball is very close to the boundary. He dived and have to see what happened there. Excellent fielding over there. Have to see the fielder sign, but actually I think he saved the boundary. Look at the effort of fielder here. Yes, 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 yes. Great camera work here. He dived away. Ball is away from his hand. Now have a look one more time. He's on the boundary line and yes, he saved the boundary. Little bit confusion between these two fielders, and the batsmen took benefit from them. They took a very quick couple. They have a good understanding between these two batsmen. Let's have another look. One more time. One more time. Yes, he saved the boundary. And this time, no chance for any kind of fielder there. He flicked away and ball went for 4 after one bounce. It's another good shot, another cracking shot was that. He flicked away to the deep square-like area. No fielder was there. And ball went for 4. Amazing boundary. Amazing. One bounce and ball went for 4. That was last delivery of the 4th over. So 4 over has been gone. It's 33 for 2 Arabian Stallions. They still need 141 from 96 balls. Let's have a look on the run rate. They are currently on 8.25 and they required 8.18. In the last 5 overs, they scored 33 runs with the loss of 2 wickets. They've been so good so far. They are almost on their required run rate. And let's have a look who is the next bowler. Good ball and misfield over there. Short point fielder trying to stop the ball. They took a very easy single here. One more to the total. Score moves on 34 for 2. Afaq Niazi is on strike now. Savwan Harris, he came for the first time in this inning. Right arm over the wicket. Good bowling and he driven away very nicely to the cover fielder. Good fielding over there. Just have to satisfy with a single. One more to the total. And score moves on 35 for 2. It's 5th over only. Good ball, really good ball. Excellent delivery. Batsman got a little bit late, and but I think he got lucky because there was a chance for a little bit outside edge. He was a little bit late, but safely balls goes into the man behind the stumps. Once again, the bowler with the right arm over the wicket. This time, successful and should be a boundary here. Yes, ball went for four. He connected very well. What a good combination between bat and ball this time. Let's have a look. Uses the back foot and uses his wrist very nicely and pushed away between bowler and between short third man and point fielder, and ball racing away for the four. Yes, that's a nice boundary here. Box, Mr. Vinay will join you for the next situation of the match. Mic over to Mr. Vinay.
Thank you, my fellow commentator. Safwan Haris will not much of pace. He will have to rely on playing. And this one, not something you expect of a batsman from Abhishek. Played across the line. And as I was speaking, Safwan had to rely on his line in length. He doesn't have the pace. Just a slow, there you see, slow nip backer in. Abhishek catching him on the crease, neither front nor back. And the ball crashing into the stump while runs are coming thick and fast. 39 for not the ideal kind of scenario you want to be when you're chasing down 174 in 20 overs. Afaq is playing a beautiful innings out here. He's 23 of 17, doing the bulk of the scoring out here with 4 hits. All you need to do is play some good percentage cricket. Just keep the scoreboard ticking and let Afaq take those risks. He's the man who's assessed the conditions much better than his other teammates. Somebody needs to string a partnership with him if they need to chase us down. New man in, Winnie. Again, outside the off stump, asking a few questions from the new batsman. End of a good over, 39 for 3 after 5. 6 runs and a wicket. A successful over coming to end from Safwan Haris. Sultan, the skipper, coming into the bowl. This is the last over of power play. Some discussion between the fielders, Wasif, Sultan and the man at mid-off. Conditions ideal for a good game of cricket out here at the Royal Ascot Club in Ajman. Newly lit grounds here. Both the teams playing their first game of the tournament. It's a round robin, 7 games each per team. And the top 4 making it to the semi-finals, and the winners of the 2 semi-finals going on to play the finals. An 8-week tournament should run towards up till the 3rd week of January. Sultan right arm, right up to the stump. Afaq plays it down to long off for a single. Afaq understands the responsibility that he needs to carry this team through. He has to play right through the innings. He needs somebody to string a partnership with him, not lose wickets at the other end while he's another wide. Open-chested action by Sultan. running from 8 to 10 paces and then delivering the ball. Again, relying on his line and length, just making sure that there is not much space given while the keeper misses the ball. Ashraf Noshe, the wicketkeeper, earlier held a catch of Hamid Nawaz of the bowling of Wasif. Playing it down to short extra cover, fielder fielding, fumbling a bit but ensuring that the ball doesn't move away from him, drying the ball. The dews set in, so the ball score has to be dried every ball. While the fielder had long on just practicing his bowling action. Again, another one outside the off stump. Vinny having a feel of it. Sorry, Afaq is the batsman having a feel of it. A wide. Not something you need to do out here when you're going to get free runs from the bowler. Don't have to try too hard. There's no field protection outside the cover area. This is what he was looking for the previous one. This time manages to get that over extra cover for a boundary. Sultan not happy with the shoe there you see high full toss. All he needed to do was play it over the infield. Lucky enough it wasn't called a no ball, just below the waist height. So that results in another boundary. Boundaries to Afaq so far. One boundary by to Safwan Haris the previous over. Current run rate of 8.29, another 127 required of 86 deliveries. Required run rate 8.86. So going much neck to neck. They don't have to do anything silly out here. They're going to get those couple of overs, which is going to get some impetus to the innings. They just got to make sure they keep collecting the singles and not lose those wickets. This is going to be the key factor out here, right at this stage of the innings. Slight hold in play. Wasif adjusting his sneakers. And going down to the edge of the circle at short mid-wicket. Again, bowling it short. Well fielded by the fielder at cover. Very well knowing that there is no protection behind. All he had to do he needed to ensure that he puts everything behind that one. Let's have a look at it again. I will show it to you in a while from now while the bowler loads for the next bowler. Plays it back to the bowler and through Sultan's hands, through his legs, a single being taken. Score moves on to 48. That's the end of power play. So Thampan Memorial Club, organized by the World of Sports. The World of Sports indulging in a lot of sporting activities. As I was speaking to Josh, he said he's not going to limit his only to cricket but to other disciplines as well. Hasn't revealed much so far, but we could be hearing this in the next few months from them. Sponsors top brand sponsoring the man of the match of this tournament. Corebiotics, a leading Ayurvedic medical center in Karachi. So back to live action. Safwan Haris had a successful last over, giving away 6 runs and taking the wicket of Abhishek. Is back in the attack again. He is bowling to Afaq, who's on 29 of 22. Again, sitting up to be hit, played towards extra cover, single being taken. A good throw right up to the stump. Score moves on to 49. As we reach 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. local time. Plays it high, there's nobody in the short cover region, a single being taken, so 50 coming up in the 7th over of the innings. 6.2 to be precise, 38 legal deliveries, 50 runs being scored. Current run rate of 7.89, required run rate of 9.07, the run rate touching 9 for the first time in the innings. Somebody will have to play a blinder out here to ensure that they doesn't go. Afaq stepping out, playing it to wide, long off, single being taken. He's relying on the timing that he has, gifted timing that he has, not doing anything silly, just playing the ball on its merit. Cutting the batsman into half, wanting to cut that one, but not enough room. The ball just trickling down to short point, the keeper doing the covering. So far not much of pace, but the wrist coming into play out here. Again another one straight to the man at short, at point, no run. So every dot ball is increasing the required run rate. Not allowing though, but got to keep an eye on that run rate as it starts creeping from 9 to 9.5 and so on. A thickish edge, runs down to fine leg, boundary, a welcome boundary for Arabian Stallions. Correct, the result correct as well. Execution not that great, but we'll be happy to take that boundary. Could have cannon onto the stumps, but not to be. It trickles down to the fine leg. 55 at the end of 7 overs. A much needed boundary. The first one for Winnie, his 6th of 6. Sultan to continue his spell. His first over cost 9 runs. Safwan Harris has bowled 2 overs for 13 runs and got the wicket of Abhishek. The other wicket takers, Khush Ahmed 2 overs 14 runs for a wicket. Mohammed 2 overs 19 and a wicket. They need another 119 of 78 balls. Sultan again outside the off stump, inviting the cut not to be into the keeper's gloves. Fark batting 31 of 25, strike rate of 124. Into the pads, sprayed to the pads, and all Afaq had to do was play it behind square. Nobody patrolling the boundary there. A welcome boundary again. The last 2 shots have yielded 8 runs in the last 3 balls. Sultan needs to ensure he bowls on one side of the wicket. He doesn't have any protection. Only 2 men on the leg side, so there's a lot of open spaces. All the batsman has to do, if it's on his pads, is to play it in the vacant areas and collect some good runs. A good one. This time keeping it outside the off stump, of driving it back to the bowler. Playing a 6-3 field. He's got only one short square leg, a deep mid wicket and a wideish long on. Again, another good one right to the edge of the crease. All Afaq could do is just jam it out and send the ball back to the bowler. A good comeback in the last couple of deliveries. Another one. Afaq trying a bit too hard after that boundary. He's trying to collect more. Not accounting for the line and the length that Sultan has managed to keep him tied to. Partnership worth 20 of 18. Another good one. Good comeback after that boundary being hit of the third ball of the over. So Sultan has also bowled 2 overs, given away 13 runs with no success. But he'll be happy with the way that he and his bowlers have responded so far. They've given away 59 of 8 overs. Current run rate of 7.38. And required run rate now moving on to 9.58. As I said, the run rate starts creeping up at the end of every over. It was 9 at the start of the couple of overs, now jumped to 9.58 at the start of this over. Safwan Harris to continue. Winnie taking strike. He's on 6 of 6 deliveries. Afaq 35 of 30 with a strike rate of 116. A sort of tennis ball bounce, just bounces and zips away. Batsman not able to make any sort of connection out here. This protection down there at extra cover. There's it high in the air, chance of a catch, and Wasif took it too lightly. Got his hands under it and then shelled it out. There you see Safwan inducing a false stroke, playing across the line. He had a lot of time, came under the ball, in his palms, and oh my word, threw it. Lucky enough not to go far away from him, so it's limited to a single. Straight to the man at point, no run. Excellent bowling out here. Both Safwan and Sultan ensuring that they are running through their overs. They've given away 26 runs or more between themselves and the 4 overs that they've bowled and taken a wicket. So they've kept a lid on the proceedings out here. Another false stroke now. Afaq trying to manufacture something out here. He's lucky that the ball didn't go back onto his stumps and just shaped away. Looks like something's gonna give in here. Chance of a catch. Man at mid-wicket takes a catch. And the scoreboard pressure getting to Afaq. Manufactures a stroke straight to the man at mid-wicket. And Afaq is out for 35. Was not able to get a few runs under his belt. Play again, a slow one up to the batsman, plays it high in the air, and the man at mid wicket settling easily and taking it near his chest and says thank you very much. It's end of a good innings, 60 for 4 at 8.5, the last ball of the 9th over coming up. Farid, the new batsman, to face the last ball of the 9th over. Fall of wickets 0, 26, 39, 60. So no big partnership being put in by the Arabian Stallions. Plays it back to the bowler. End of the 9th over, 60 for 4. End of another successful over from Safan Harris. He's given a single run in the over and taken the wicket of Afaq, a much needed one for them. The last over before the drinks break and change of ends. Sultan, the most of it, he is bowling his 3rd over. Sultan steaming in now, a single being taken towards short cover. Score moves on to 61. Not so good keeping so there, but some good backup by the man at square leg. Quite a few balls being let through by the keeper, but covered up by the fielders behind him. Farid taking strike. Another single, chance of a run out, but run rate steadily dropping down with every passing over. Arabian Stallions need to do something about that. A full end delivery right at the edge of the crease, within the tram lines. Another dot ball. Plays it across the line towards wideish long on. 1 run, Wasif doing the fielding. Score moves on to 63. Sultan. Another wild swing, no connection done. Another dot ball. 63 is what the score is. Coming towards the end of the halfway of the innings. 63 so far, current run rate of 6.41, not good enough in these conditions. straight onto the legs, no run. So 63 is what the score is at the end of 10 overs. As we switch ends, last 5 overs have got 24 runs. Required run rate jumping to 11.1. Required run rate 11.10 in the remaining 10 overs. Current run rate of 6.30. Last 5 overs have resulted in 24 runs for 1 wicket being lost. So the momentum being lost by the Arabian Stallions out here. They had 42. They had 45 in the first 5 overs and then another 24 in the following 5. Safan coming to bowl his last over. It's been economical, 3 overs, 14 runs. Now the dot ball. These experienced bowlers making sure that they make it very difficult for the batsmen. Bowling it right into the slots, not giving away any width. The line and length has been quite economical. Winnie on strike is 9 of 13. This time being a wide being called. Sensible Winnie didn't chase that one, he just let it go. Safan into Winnie. A big stroke coming up, landing between the fielders at long off and extra cover. Single being taken, not much of damage. They need to get some boundaries and they need to get it quick and fast. The run rate's nearly reaching 12 runs and over now. Required run rate 11.47. It was 11.1 at the start of the over. Swing by the keeper, by the batsman, missed by the keeper. One boy being taken. No sense of urgency by the batsman. Score moves on to 66. Winnie on strike again. over the bowler's head for another single. $107 required of the remaining 55 legal deliveries of this game. They've lost 4 wickets. There's a rare full toss and well fielded by the fielder. Still no boundaries coming up. Just another couple of runs added to the total. Score moves on to 69. So Safan finishes the spell, 4 overs, 19 runs and 2 wickets, an economical spell, getting a couple of wickets and also ensuring that the run rate is under check. It's been stifled for the Arabian Stallions, not letting them gallop away from this game. They need somebody to come from behind and get some quick runs. Sultan to bowl his 4th over. He's to bowl well. Plays it down to covers. There's a man outside in the deep. Single being taken. Score moves on to 70. Required run rate now 11.77. It's creeping up every ball. Every ball, in spite of a run being scored, the run rate's been jumping from 9.5 to 10, 11 and now 11.77 as Sultan comes to bowl the second ball of the over. Plays it down towards extra cover. Again, a single being scored. Score moves on to 71. Plays it over the bowler for another. Well fielded by the fielder by Wasif at long on. Manages to put his boot. Again the boundary being saved. 2 runs being scored. Score moves on to 73. Plays it towards, again down towards cover region for another single. Score moves on to 74. Last couple of deliveries of Sultan's spell. He's given away 21 runs in his 3.4 overs. A shade below 6. A wild swing. And run rate now creeping to 12.24. Current run rate of 6.28. A lovely ball, a leg cutter right under the bat. Surprised how did that miss the leg stump. End of a beautiful spell from Sultan. 4 overs, 21 runs, no wicket. He hasn't got any success, but he and Safan in the last 8 overs have given away 40 runs amongst themselves. Four bowlers being used so far. So the 5th bowler will have to come on for Markhor 11 out here. Altaf coming to bowl. He's been introduced in the 13th over of the innings. So he should be bowling a unchanged spell. Starts off with a wide. Second game of this evening is Red Rock CC versus Royal Sarabis. While the existing game, Arabian Stallions versus Markhor XI at the ascendancy out here. Starts off with a wide and then a good dot ball. Winnie batting 15 of 19 balls and Farid is 4 of 9. Nobody ready to take the charge out here. They need to start making the move here now. An edge and a welcome boundary. The man at gully asking the keeper to move across to right to take a catch. So much needed boundary to the innings. Score moves on to 79. Five runs of the first two balls. Third man being pushed back for those edges. We need 19 of 20 here. Playing across the line, a leg by being taken. They wouldn't mind that. Boundaries is what Markhor 11 will want to stop. Wild swing this time, high over mid wicket, the first maximum of the innings. Farid seen a lot of it. He says, I'm going to take charge of this now. Is it? Smashes it over mid wicket for the first 6. Score moves on to 86. Let's have a look at it again. In the slot, moves across and this smashes it over mid wicket. Tries it again, another edge over the keeper. This time there's a man at third man, so he saves the boundary. Single being conceded. Smart move by Markhor captain, sensing that a few edges be coming their way. Drops the man from short third man to third man. Score moves on to 87. Arabian Stallions would need a few more of those lusty blows that Farid just played a couple of balls ago. There's no point hanging in there. Plays it down to Gully, the man at Gully doing good enough to just stop the ball from going away from him towards the boundary. A single being taken. Score moves on to 88. So it's the best over of the innings already so far. They got 13 runs of the over. That was the required run rate at the start of the over. Mujtaba Bashir, the new bowler. Right arm leg spinner, over 100 games he's played. Digging into the pitch. Winnie not in a position to play that behind square. Just manages to get an under edge and the ball trickling back to the bowler. Single being taken towards mid-wicket. Score moves on to 89. Farid on strike. He's got one maximum to his name. He'll be eyeing that mid-wicket region. Plays it behind square. Another boundary. Score moves on to 93. Farid. Farid has decided that he's going to go behind the bowlers. Inner edge, running behind backward square. Gets him another boundary. Score moves on to 93. Mujtaba coming behind from round the wicket. Goes towards deep backward square. One run being taken. Batsman tripping over. Can't complete the second run. So one run being added to the total. So 94 for 4. Appeal for an LBW, trying to get a run out, back up for behind square, leg by being scored, 95 for 5. The last ball of the 14th over coming up, 6 overs to follow after this. Run rate, required run rate creeping to 12.81. The final delivery of the over coming up. They need another 79 of the last 37 balls. Who is going to bail them out? High in the air, fielders coming up, Wasif coming, and one run being taken. End of the over, 96 for 4. 7 runs being scored of the over. They need much more than that. They need 13 runs per over in the last 6 overs. 78 required of the last 6 overs. Altaf to continue. He's bowling his second over. Underage again down to third man. Doing this fielding. Farid gets a single. Vinny on strike. He's on 21 of 25. Slip being brought in. Third man being moved a bit square. One run down to long on, half a chance. Altaf trying his best to take a catch, but couldn't hold on to it. 1 run being scored. The stroke down to backward square, nobody behind there. Keep doing the running. 1 run being taken, going in for the second run. A good effort by the keeper, knowing that nobody is behind square, doing the running. So the 100 coming up in the 15th over. 14.4 to be precise. 14.3 to be precise. No sort of power being exerted. This time playing it in front of square. Another welcome boundary after quite some time. Farid getting another boundary to his innings. He moves on to 24 of 17. Winnie is giving him support, but not the support that the Arabian Stallions would be looking for. They need somebody to start moving things at a faster pace. This is not going to help their cause. 104 for 4. Wild swing and just over the stumps. Farid just lucky that it didn't cannon onto his stumps. Last ball of the 15th over coming up. Altaf just lucky that he missed his step, aborted his run up. Fine edge, a good save by the keeper, saved a certain boundary, chances a run out. 1 run to the total. Fantastic save, nobody behind at fine leg would have resulted in a boundary, but lucky enough that he kept it down to a single. 105 for 4 in 15 overs. Current run rate of 7. Required run rate jumping to 13.80. We run to the last 5 overs of the innings. Mujtaba to continue. Altaf giving away 22 in his 2 overs. Thampan Memorial Cup, organized by World of Sports. It's beautiful cricket ground at Royal Ascot ground in Ajman here. Floodlit ground. Farid on strike. We're back in action. Mujtaba the bowler. Plays it down to long on for a single. Score moves on to 106. The run rate now reaching, required run rate reaching 14 and above, 14.07. They need more than 2 runs a ball out here in the last 5 overs of this innings. Plays it down towards mid-wicket. Altaf, the fielder, at mid-wicket. 1 run being taken. Not much of an effort by both the batsmen to try to put some pressure on the fielder, ambling along for a single. Mujtaba happy to give away those singles and close out the over. Shot towards short cover. No risk being taken out here. High in the air, Sultan converging in between the fielders, just a single. The batsman unable to clear the boundaries out here. It's not going to work for them. They have quite a few wickets in the hut. They can go for those blows. Unable to land any blow of substance out here. Another good one, just keeping it up to the batsman. No footwork, just trying to play with a vertical bat out here. 108 for 4. We're running through to the end of the 16th over. The last ball coming up. Another one in the air, landing safe. Altaf doing the fielding. Single being taken. Score moves on to 109. The last 4 overs coming up. Run rate now crossing 16.25. It was 14 at the start of the over. It's reached to 16.25. Now the 65 runs required of the last 4 overs. Bilal into the attack. Sultan rotating his bowlers, not giving any kind of freedom to the batsmen, keeping guessing different bowlers on different occasions, not allowing them to get used to their pace. Bilal from round the wicket, right arm around the wicket. Straight it down to the man at long on. 1 run. Markhor 11 truly keeping a lid on the proceedings right from the start of the innings. Plays it towards cover, extra covers, wide long off, doing the fielding. Another single added to the total. Batsmen aren't looking out for those extra runs which they should be taking. Just content with the single that is on offer. This one. Another single being taken down to long off. Batsman unhappy with himself. Very well knowing that they need boundaries practically every ball now. Run rate now, required run rate 17.71. It's just jumping across with every ball. Another dot ball. They've not allowed many boundaries to be scored in this inning so far. 11 boundaries in the inning so far, whereas Markhor had 18 in boundaries, as we speak. The first boundary in quite some time coming up. Is it a bit too late for this to come in? Score moves on to 116. Farid scoring his third boundary. Apart from the one maximum that he scored, the only maximum of the innings for Arabian Stallions. Another wild swing. The bowler knew that he was going to take a wild swipe, bowled it a bit slower than usual. End of the over, 116. The final 18 balls coming up. Required run rate 19.33. Mujtaba to continue. He's given away 11 runs in his 2 overs. Bilal conceding only 7 runs in the over that he's bowled so far. Into the pads, playing it down to backward square, single being scored. Score moves on to 117. They practically need a boundary of every ball from here. Else this contest will be won by a good margin from playing it down to mid-wicket. Man there stationed for that kind of stroke. Single being scored. Score moves on to 118. Plays it over the just outside the ring. The ball trickling down to long on. Both the batsmen just walking that single away. Another single added to the total. Over the bowler's head for another single. They've been playing those strokes but still managing to get only singles for that. Not able to get anything more than that. 120 in the 17.4 overs that they have faced so far. They need 20 required. Run rate jumping to 22. Last ball of the over coming up, 120 for 4. Partnership of 60 of 54. While it has been a good partnership, it has come at taken quite a bit of time. 9 overs, 60 runs when you're chasing 173 is not good enough. Mujtaba to bowl the last ball of this over. Giving it a bit of pace, but the best part is that they're digging it into the pitch, not allowing the batsman the freedom to play big strokes. So it's the end of the over, 121 for 4. Last couple of overs coming up. Another 53 required of the last 12 balls, so it's 26.5 run rate per over. Bilal Abbasi coming to bowl round the wicket. Again, another swing and a miss. Low full toss, belted towards mid wicket, 1 run being taken. Another cross batted heave. Not touching anything and reaching into the keeper's gloves. .52 required of the last 8 balls, so even a 6 of every ball is still going to have them short of the target. Everything being missed out here. The batsman missing, so does the bowler miss the stump. Dead ball being signalled, the bowler losing the ball on his way while delivering. While we come to the conclusion of this game, the next game is Red Rock versus Royal Sarabes, which is to follow this at the end of these 8 legal derivatives that are there. Finally, the batsman is out of his misery. Farid losing his stump, being bowled for 34 of 31, 3 boundaries and a 6, strike rate of 109. Human Rais Chaudhary, the opening bowler for Arabian Stallions, coming at the end of this innings. He'll want to get a couple of blows under his belt just to see that the margin of defeat is brought down to the minimum that they can. This game well and truly bossed by Markhor XI. Right from the 12th over of the innings. Starts off with 1 behind square, gets a boundary. Was cramped for room, ball followed him, but he still manages to get it behind long leg, gets another boundary. Score is 126 for 5. So the final over coming up, and 48 runs required of the last 6 deliveries. They need 8 runs plus per ball. Vinny, who's been there for quite some time for his 30 of 37. So next game coming up, Red Rock versus Royal Sarabis, which will follow at the end of the 6 legal deliveries that are remaining in this game. Mujtaba bowling. Again, using all his efforts, all he manages to do is play it over the inner ring for a single. Rais, who has 4 runs to his credit for the one ball that he's faced, will want to do some damage out here. A wild swing, the ball's not in the zone for the batsman to hit, doesn't connect with anything. The last 4 deliveries coming up. Another one, chance of a catch at long off. A drop. Mujtaba not happy with his fielder. Another drop, not going to cost anything to the Markhor team, except personally that Mujtaba would have liked to have a wicket against his name. He's bowling well. He's bowled 3.3 overs for 18 runs. Another full toss, edge behind square. Batsman crossover for a single. Score moves on to 129. Which is about fifth ball of the wild swing, chance of another catch again between the keeper and the man at point. 1 run being scored. Score moves on to 130. The final delivery of the innings coming up off the game. Markhor well and truly on course to win this game with 40 runs difference. Unless Vinny has one wild swipe, he manages to bring it down to mid-wicket. Single being taken. That's the end of the game. 131 is what they have scored. A rather painful innings of 33 or 40 balls to conclude the innings for Arabian Stallions. Mohammed Wasif, the player of the game for Markhor XI, for his 77 of 51 balls, and to add his bowling analysis of 2 overs, 19 runs and 1 wicket. Welcome. Welcome to the post-match presentation where Markhor XI winning by a margin of 42 runs. A man of the match and the MVP is Syed Wasif for a 71 and 2 overs, 19 runs and a single wicket. Wasif, well played. Please collect your trophy and a voucher from Arrow. A late flourish to the innings and ensuring that a respectable total comes to their kitty. And now we have the captain of Arabian Stallions, unfortunately the losing captain for today. Wasif, wicket, English is okay? When you walked in, the team was in a bit of a trouble. You needed to bail them out and make sure that you put up a good score. Your captain said he would be happy with 150. What was going through your mind and your partner when you all were in the middle?
First of all, thanks Almighty Allah. When I went inside, I just checked the pitch. The ball wasn't coming on the bat. It was just like, it's not coming through the bat. And then I just stay on the wicket. I try to keep rotating the strike. And then in between, I tried to go for hard hitting, but it wouldn't happen. Then my captain, he sent me message that just stay on the wicket and rotate the strike, and then later on ball comes on my bat, and then I just throw away the sixes. And so the target was in our mind. It was 150, 140 to 150, but we go above that target, so that was good for us. That's plus point for us.
Well played, and congratulations to you and all the best for the future of the tournament. While we talk to John, the losing captain. John, halfway through the first innings, you all had them under checks, 3 wickets, you bowled well up front, the ball was nipping around. Where do you see that the momentum shifted from y'all towards Markhor and never came back again?
Initially, yes, what you said, like 6 overs, they were 43 and we were able to take the 3 wickets, which was really good. Ball was really swinging well, and 6 overs, 43, we had the game in control. From there, our plan was to restrict them 140, 145, that was the max. But middle orders, we couldn't restrict them. Runs were leaking, and that took it away from us, like 170. Okay, still, I feel was chaseable. We had a good batting lineup, but again, the dew factor has supported them, and runs were not chaseable at like the lose couple.
Again, when Vinny and Farid were in, y'all were in with a chance. The stronger partnership, but that was taken quite a long time. They scored 63 of 56 balls. What would be the team talk now going into the next match as to how they're going to come about trying to chase such totals?
See, it's very important. T20, first 6 overs decides the game. Either side, first innings, second innings. Now, like for 6 overs, we couldn't capitalize. So there itself, the team score comes down. Then it becomes very difficult to capitalize, because once the dew plays its role, ball becomes heavy. It's not easy to chase and not easy to hit fours because ball doesn't travel. So the early runs is very important in that. The 6 overs that we couldn't capitalize early. In fact, the 4 top order batsmen are really capable of that, but couldn't. Hard day, hard luck.
Anyway, thank you for your time and all the best for the following tournament to follow. And we'll see you soon in the next games.
Thank you. Thank you.
And finally, we talk to Sultan, the winning captain from Markhor. Sultan, halfway stage, the same question, halfway stage. You all were looking at 140, 145. What was the message that you gave to Wasif? He said that he got a message. What was the message? And what made him turn around to get those big boundaries and sixes that you all were looking for?
I think there was no specific message, so we wanted to keep wickets in hand, and that was the key there. So I asked him to stay on the wicket as much as he can, wait for the ball to come to the bat, because this was a pretty tough wicket. If you can play the straight shots and with a proper bat, then you would have scored well. If you go across the line, then you would not have been able to score well because there was a lot of grass on the wicket. So that was the message, just go deep as possible and score 150 plus, because we thought that after scoring 114 in 15 overs, we could go to the 160, 170 mark. And that was the key, and I think that is where we put the scoreboard score on the board and then put the other team on the scoreboard pressure.
Happy with the conditions out here with the grounds and the wicket that has been offered so far?
I think the wicket is really good because there's a lot of grass on the wicket, so it strikes a nice balance between the bat and the ball. But the ground conditions, I think there's a lot of dew here, and the teams would need to wear spikes. So that is key. For the next matches, we'll be really careful. I think all of us will be wearing spikes. So good luck to us on the next matches, because I was really afraid that we don't want to slip on the ground. There's a lot of dew, and this is a new ground, but very well made. So I love the facility here.
Anyway, thank you for your time. Good win, and congratulations, and follow it up with the next games. That's it from the post-match presentation. Markhor XI winning their game. The next game coming up, Red Rock CC take on Royal Surabaya. The toss to follow in a few minutes from now.